that might be a tougher fight for Khamzat than I may have imagined. When Sean Strickland goes into Houston to take on Fluffy Hernandez, not only does he win the fight, he's saying things that are so crazy and out there that everybody's paying attention.
Chimaev's a bully. I made him quit training.
He says some wild stuff, and then Khamzat starts to reply. Watching him against Fluffy, Sean looks so good. If that version showed up, that might be a tougher fight for Khamzat than I may have imagined. We're gonna need some extra security for this fight.
Main event is the fight that people have been waiting for a long time. Strickland looked incredible in his last performance, and you know, how much security do you think we're going to need from Chimaev?
Quite a lot, Danny. You need to hire some extra people because Sean Strickland, as we know, the man's a man.
Strickland throws a lot of shots at Khamzat, as does Khamzat. I would imagine Khamzat a lot more motivated going into this fight, considering the things that Sean has said about him and their history. And Dana White joked about the fact that they might need a little more security, and I don't think that's the worst idea in the world. I'm not upset that Sean is getting this shot. He does have a win over Chimaev, and it was a short notice win for him, and he was moving up to 205. Did that come into play? I don't know. Ultimately, if we're being 100% honest, I think what came into play is that this is a bigger fight, and it sells more, and a hell of a lot more people.
Very deserving, but I guess they are taking into consideration the fact that Sean Strickland has a win over Nasty Chimaev. You know, a lot of people were trashing Sean Strickland about his fighting ability before the Anthony Hernandez fight, including Nasty Chimaev as well. He was trashing Strickland, saying this guy's complete trash, this guy's garbage. And I even put a tweet out saying, this guy beat you on a week's notice. You know, Strickland has some solid wins, and they're definitely coming into play here. Plus, the fact that these two are probably going to have one of the best pre-fight press conferences in recent UFC history is also definitely coming into play here. I would not be surprised if Paramount has a pair of scissors on the cord to Sean Strickland's microphone at this press conference, because I know for a fact he is going to go absolutely crazy at Khamzat Chimaev. He's been saying so much about him. Terrorist this, terrorist that. He's sure, the press conference may be better than the fight.
You know, I know Chimaev and Khamzat kind of don't want to fight each other. I'm not really excited for that fight. Not a lot of people are, but the Strickland fight, I believe I faced Strickland. In the striking, he definitely beats Khamzat for sure. Khamzat, a problem to deal with when he has you on your back. We've seen that many times. With Strickland, what he does brilliantly, I took Strickland down, I think 7 times. The way he gets up to hold him down is incredibly hard. At Extreme Couture, where they train, they specialize in that cage wrestling, getting back to his feet. And Strickland is a lot stronger than people might think. I think he has a very good chance in that fight.
Do you think we'll need extra security for Chimaev versus Strickland? Absolutely. I gotta be honest, I don't know if I trust those two enough to put them together before the fight, because I think they might start fighting. They seem to hate each other and despise each other, and those things are what fights are built on. Those are the things that fights are built on, is bad blood, heat, a true dislike for someone. Sean don't necessarily like anybody, which makes him as fun as anyone to watch. But Khamzat just wants to smash people. Smash. Beat them up, take them down, overwhelm them to the point that they can't do anything.
I thought Chimaev lost that fight.
What?
He won the first round. Look at the tape. He won the first round, lost the second and third, didn't get more takedowns. Got stuffed up and got punched in the face more. So I definitely thought Usman won. That's a 170-pounder that's coming off the couch. Literally. He's not training, he's not living that life, you know? Now I know he went up to 185 and did some big things, but I don't think he beats Strickland. I don't think so.
What? That is a wild take.
I'll bet.
Yo, that's a wild take.
I'm dumping the house on Strickland on that one.
That's a wild take.
I'm gonna put
really?
like 100 bands, and I don't even think Chimaev fights him because they've trained a lot.
This is a wild take.
You'll see my I'm fucking prize picks. I put up 100 bands of my own money. I'm gonna go whap. That's how confident I am. Strickland beats him.
Dude, that would be huge.
for his legacy if he beats a guy like Khamzat.
When you put the non-stop pressure and iron durability of Sean Strickland against the dangerous grappling and undefeated record of Khamzat Chimaev, the whole MMA world starts asking the same thing. Who takes this fight? It is the kind of matchup that instantly grabs attention because both men bring serious problems into the cage, and both have styles that can change a fight in a hurry. That is why fighters, analysts, and fans have all started weighing in, trying to figure out how this explosive title clash could actually play out. What makes this fight so interesting is how different the challenge looks depending on where the action takes place. Sean Strickland is known for his pressure, his toughness, and his ability to stay in your face for round after round without slowing down. Khamzat Chimaev brings a completely different kind of danger, with suffocating wrestling, heavy top pressure, and the kind of grappling that has already broken down so many opponents. Put those two styles together and you get a fight that feels tense before it even begins. That is why this potential matchup has become such a major talking point. Some people believe Strickland's pressure, cardio, and refusal to break could turn this into a long and difficult night for Chimaev. Others look at Chimaev's wrestling and think that if he gets his hands on Strickland early, the fight could swing his way fast. Either way, this is not the sort of fight people can ignore. It feels big, it feels intense, and it feels like the kind of contest that could define the middleweight title picture in a major way.
No, I think this is what I have to say is that Strickland is, I've always said this, Strickland is extremely tricky to hit because everyone gets into the sport, is fighting, and then everyone swings at people's heads and try to take off their heads. Strickland had this weird style of just kind of relax here and just kind of throws his hands up to kind of block and leans away to where it's very difficult for people to get to his face to hit him. As you see when he, who was it that actually caught him was Pereira. I think it was coming off of like a fake knee, and it was kind of just a, you know, Pereira has those hooks that you don't really see because his hands are so low, and it just boom, and then a straight right, boom, put him out. You know, it's a very, if you're not in a situation like that, Strickland is very...
According to Michael Bisping, a middleweight title fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland is one of the most interesting matchups the division can make right now, even if it is not an easy one to predict. In Bisping's view, there is a lot to like about Strickland's case for the shot, especially after the way he handled Anthony Hernandez. It was not only the finish that stood out, but the way Strickland did it with that body shot and then showed respect afterward. Bisping made it clear that, in his eyes, Strickland absolutely earned the opportunity. At the same time, Bisping also pointed to the biggest issue anyone has to solve against Chimaev, and that is the non-stop pressure mixed with elite wrestling. That is the problem sitting in front of every opponent who signs to face him. Chimaev is still undefeated, and he has made a habit of overwhelming people before they ever get comfortable. Fight after fight, he has imposed his will, taken control, and forced opponents into his kind of battle. That alone makes him a nightmare matchup for almost anybody at middleweight. Bisping also brought up another detail that matters here. Chimaev has not only beaten strong opponents, he has also shown he can compete at the highest level by controlling stretches of a fight against the current champion, Dricus du Plessis. That says a lot. It shows that Chimaev is not just dangerous against lower-ranked fighters or favorable matchups. He has already proven he can create serious problems even for the man sitting on top of the division. That is why Bisping sees this fight as so compelling. Strickland has the grit, the style, and the momentum to make it interesting, but dealing with Chimaev's pressure and wrestling is a whole different test. The real tension in Bisping's breakdown comes from that balance. On one side, you have a proven former champion in Strickland, a fighter who can drag people into deep water and keep making them work every minute of the fight. On the other side, you have Chimaev, who has looked like a wrecking machine for most of his career and has built his name on making good fighters look stuck. That contrast is exactly why this matchup is so hard to call and why people keep talking about it. Bisping also said this fight would not just be intense because of the title stakes or the clash of styles. There is already history between these two men, and that adds another layer to everything. Sean Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev have trained together before, which means this is not some cold matchup between strangers. There is familiarity there, there are old memories there, and there is already a level of tension that could easily rise once a fight week begins. That tension becomes even more obvious when you look at the personalities involved. Strickland is known for saying exactly what he thinks, usually with no filter at all, and that makes him one of the most unpredictable talkers in the sport. sport. Chimaev carries himself with total belief and absolute confidence in what he can do. When you put those personalities together, it is easy to see why Bisping joked that things could get so heated during fight week that extra security might be needed. Daniel Cormier laughed about that too, because the idea does not even sound far-fetched. Still, once you move past the talk, the jokes, and the drama, Bisping believes the fight comes down to one simple but huge question. Can Sean Strickland stop the relentless takedowns of Khamzat Chimaev? That is the whole fight in many ways. If Strickland can stay standing, keep range, and force Chimaev to work through long stretches on the feet, then the fight changes. If Chimaev gets hold of him consistently and starts putting him on the mat, then the pressure could become overwhelming. That is what makes this matchup feel so sharp and so easy to break down in theory, even though the answer itself is still hard to find. Strickland's path is built around keeping the fight where he is strongest, staying composed, and making Chimaev deal with his pace and pressure. Chimaev's path looks just as clear, but far more suffocating. Get the takedown, control the position, and force Strickland into a fight he does not want. That central question hangs over everything else, and until the cage door closes, it is the one point everyone will keep coming back to.
There is a backstory between Chimaev and Sean Strickland. They have trained with one another. There's a bit of shit talk. There's going to be bad blood. We know that the lead up to the fight will be goddamn insane, right? Chimaev doesn't hold back. He talks shit, but in a kind of reserved way, but like he truly believes in himself. And Sean Strickland is just going to go on the full offensive. We know that. We know that. He's going to be talking some crazy shit. Dana even joked about it on the little show that we did there. He said they're going to need extra security for that fight, during the fight week, leading up to the fight, after the fight, in the fight. It's going to be a mad one because Sean Strickland doesn't hold back. And you know what? Even if you don't like the shit that he says, you have to appreciate the entertainment value that he brings to the table. And then on top of that, the performances inside the octagon. That one against Fluffy, that was a different Sean Strickland, okay? But can he stop the takedowns of Khamzat Chimaev? Because let's be honest, that's what this fight is all.
Giving his own take on the title picture, Jorge Masvidal argued that Sean Strickland has clearly done enough to earn another shot at the belt. From Masvidal's point of view, Strickland's resume already includes the kind of win that cannot be ignored. He pointed straight to Strickland's dominant 5-round performance against Israel Adesanya and made the case that this was not some close or lucky win. Strickland took control of that fight and held onto it from start to finish. Masvidal's point carries extra weight because of when that win happened. Israel Adesanya was still in his prime, and Strickland did not just edge him out or survive his attacks. He handled the champion over the course of the fight and showed he could perform at the highest level under the brightest lights. For Masvidal, that kind of victory matters when you are looking at who deserves another chance in the title picture. He also acknowledged that Strickland later had a difficult night against Dricus du Plessis, but he did not treat that as the end of the story. Instead, Masvidal emphasized the way Strickland has responded since then. He has come back, turned in strong performances, and stayed right near the top of the division. That matters in a weight class as competitive as middleweight. One rough outing can slow a fighter down. But Strickland did not disappear. He kept working, kept winning, and kept himself in the conversation. That is really the heart of Masvidal's argument. Sean Strickland is not being pushed into this discussion because of hype or because fans want drama. He is still here because he has done the work, picked up the wins, and remained one of the division's leading contenders. When you add that to his past title success and the kind of name he has built for himself, it becomes easy to understand why Masvidal believes another shot is fully deserved.
Who deserves it more?
I mean, I guess
champion beat the brakes off of Izzy when Izzy was fucking. Izzy had just beaten Pereira.
Yeah.
So it's not like
5-0 he beat him, right? 5 rounds.
No, he knocked him out.
No, I'm saying Strickland beat him. He just beat him in every round.
5 rounds and almost stopped him, I think, in the first. So I really thought that Izzy was on top of his game. Maybe going into that fight, for whatever reason, he wasn't at his best mind. But physically, he was still in his prime. I know Izzy's had his ups and downs after that. But Sean beat a prime Izzy, man. So we can't ever forget that. And then I know he had a bad fight with the South African dude, the killer.
DDP?
Man.
Yeah.
DDP's another killer, bro. He's phenomenal, you know. And he had a bad showing there. But since then, I mean, I think Sean is 2-0 right now.
He beat Costa,
which was
just
wasn't the best fight. It wasn't the best showing. It was
but he won.
Forward,
yeah.
But he won convincingly. There's no doubt about it. But then what he did to Fluffy, which had a lot of hype behind him, everybody was writing.
Yeah,
Fluffy's
bro.
coattails hard. He made him look bad. Like, hey, I'm I'm the top dog here and you're not ready for this. You know, it made him look bad. He couldn't take him down, couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So.
Now it is your turn to weigh in on this fight. Drop your predictions in the comments and let everybody know how you see this matchup playing out. We want to hear your full breakdown, your hot takes, and your honest pick on who comes out on top if Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland finally meet for the middleweight title. This is the kind of fight that brings out strong opinions because both men give you real reasons to believe in their chances. One side sees Strickland's pressure, toughness, and experience in long fights as the difference. The other side looks at Chimaev's wrestling, control, and undefeated run and sees a fighter who can shut down almost anyone. That is exactly why this matchup has people talking. So leave your prediction, tell us who wins and how they win, and make sure you hit subscribe for all the latest fight updates. There is a lot more to come, and this conversation is only getting bigger from here.